It's Friday afternoon again, and normally what I like to do for the last video of the work week, I like to touch on a lighthearted topic. We cover a lot of heavy issues here on the channel. I always try to present them to you in a lighthearted way, but a lot of the stuff that we talk about is real shit. Going into the weekend, most of you guys will be watching or listening to this on your way home from work, but going into the weekend, I like to keep the mood light, set the mood right for your weekend. First, let me get a couple of pieces of business out of the way before we get into everything. It's been a while since I've mentioned Patreon. The link is in the description below. If you want to help out, if you want to support the channel monetarily, head on over to Patreon and sign up. You can make a one-time donation, you can make a monthly donation every month, whatever you prefer. It's always optional, but it's always appreciated. I appreciate all of you guys that have already signed up for Patreon. Also, Father's Day is coming up. I think it's next Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I always struggle coming up with ideas for gifts. I am a terrible gift giver. I produce close to 4 hours of content every week. I can sit here, I can think of analogies, metaphors, create shit like Woke You or the weekly Woke schedule. All of that is seamless for me. It just pops into my head naturally. I have no problem thinking creatively. But when it comes to thinking of gifts, I suck. I'm the worst. If you're like me and you struggle in the gift giving department, let me alleviate some of your stress for Father's Day. Extra wallets are the perfect gift. I mean, seriously, what man can't use a wallet? What makes extra wallets so special, besides the fact that they're affordable? The average wallet costs between $40 and $100. Extra wallets fall right into that price range. They also come, here's one of the wallets right here, but they also come with this chip card. If you ever misplace your wallet, you leave it at the office, leave it at the bar, falls out of your pocket at the baseball game, you simply log on to the app, and by using this chip card, it will pinpoint exactly where your wallet is. The affiliate link is in the description below. Head on over there now. You'll save 20% by using the link in the description, and you'll also alleviate the stress of waiting until the last minute to find the perfect gift for Father's Day. All right, let's get into everything. Every week, I receive at least 1 or 2 emails from aspiring YouTubers asking for advice on starting their own channel. Now, I remember when I was conceptualizing my channel, I spent hours upon hours reading through bullshit, figuring out what I should be doing. You gotta have catchy thumbnails. You need a proper background. You need to collaborate with other channels. Use a service like GetFans to legitimize your channel by buying views and subscribers. Every bit of that advice was bullshit. To this day, I don't have catchy thumbnails. For the longest time, I had the most hideous looking background on this platform. You guys remember those curtains? Buying views and subscribers, that is the quickest way to tank your channel. But another one of the recommendations was making videos comprised of lists. Unfortunately, this was a trap I fell into, at least for a little while. I don't understand the fascination with lists, top 5 NBA players of all time, top 10 worst moments in NFL history, top 3 woke assholes who went the longest time without taking a shower. From a content creator standpoint, I get it. I understand the appeal of lists. It entices people to click. It makes them curious. It entices people to comment. But from a viewer perspective, which is how I try to gear my content from the perspective of the viewer. From a viewer's perspective, lists always end in disappointment. For one, they're completely subjective, which renders them essentially meaningless. And two, you waste 10, 15 minutes watching a video on a list or reading the article. You make it all the way to number 1, and in most cases, the list falls completely flat. Do you guys remember Esquire magazine? It used to be a major publication, I guess it still is. As of December 2020, Esquire had over 600,000 active subscriptions. Esquire is classified as a men's magazine. Every year, they used to dedicate an issue to the sexiest woman alive. They featured real sexy women, not the bullshit that we have seen the last couple of years in Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit issue. I think, what was it, 2 years ago, Woke Illustrated put a fucking dude as the centerfold of their swimsuit issue? Yeah, Nothing says sexy like a dick-swinging fuck knuckle pretending to be a woman. Maybe next year, to ensure they go out of business, Woke Illustrated can feature Leah Thomas in their swimsuit issue. That edition is guaranteed to fly off newsstands straight into the landfill next to the WNBA dump. Esquire, they quit doing their Sexiest Woman Alive edition back in 2015. I'm sure you can guess why. It's misogyny, damn it. It's toxic masculinity. These perverted men looking at women in swimsuits and grabbing their hand lotion. This issue was a no-no for graduates of Woke U. The same people who want to teach your kindergartner about the gay. The same people who want to help your 8-year-old select one of the 53 genders they identify with. These same people think men looking at women in bikinis is perverted. Every morning when I wake up, one of the first things I do before I get out of bed is check my phone. I got to shut the alarm off anyway, so when I do, I go ahead and check my notifications. I usually get, 10 to 15 Twitter notifications overnight. One of the notifications this morning was a tweet from Bomani Jones. It's kind of scary and crazy at the same time how smart our phones are. I guess my phone hears me constantly criticize Bomani Jones, so it automatically alerts me when he does something stupid. The tweet referenced a list from Esquire magazine of the top sports podcasts in America. Now, when you think of top sports podcast, who do you think of? Pat McAfee comes to mind, maybe Colin Cowherd, Dan Patrick, Bill Simmons. There are a lot of great sports shows out there. So imagine my surprise when Esquire magazine releases their list earlier this week of the top sports podcast in America, and Bomani Jones is number one. Bomani Jones? Bobo? The purveyor of racial propaganda, the dean of Woke U, the valedictorian of huge embarrassing failures? The only list Bomani Jones should be on top is the loneliest virgin in America. But Bomani Jones, the number one sports podcast in the country? Are you out of your fucking mind? This fucking loser doesn't even have the number one show on the Apple platform. Right Time to Be a Virgin ranks number 37. Now, I know most of you don't listen to Right Time to Be a Virgin. Let me show you what you're missing out on. Me personally, if I'm Bomani Jones, I'm 41 years old, and the only naked woman I've seen in my life is Rachel Levine, I would be doing some serious soul searching. What about me repels the average woman? What about me makes women laugh in my face? What changes can I make to become more attractive to the opposite sex? But that is not what Bobo is concerned about. No. The only thing that gives Bobo the energy to go is talking about mythical racism. Listen to him explain how the decline of stolen bases in Major League Baseball is a tool used to keep black people out of the game. Roll the bullshit.
The aesthetic of the game changed in a way that, it's kind of hard for a lot of people not to tie it to race, right? Like I think Ralph Wilder was a person who had looked at this, others, just the idea that moving away from stolen bases, even if you could show me numbers that made sense as to why maybe this wasn't worth the risk because outs were so important, but it also made for a much drier game, which is normally in the ways that people view it, a less black game.
I always tell you guys that Bomani Jones is actually a really smart dude, but this just goes to show you how the entire premise of mythical racism is bullshit. When you have intelligent people failing to convince you that racism is prevalent in America, you know it's complete bullshit. In the Esquire article, they say, if you're like us and you find yourself missing High Noon with Bomani Jones on ESPN, we have good news for you. He now has a podcast that no one listens to. Yeah. We're not like you. I have yet to see one person beg ESPN to bring back Bomani Jones. There is a reason they yanked his ass off the air. No one was watching. But Bobo, he's not the only shitfuck that received the false honor of Top Sports Podcast. Oh no! We have two other completely irrelevant motherfuckers that make this Esquire list complete propaganda. Coming in at number 10 on our list of huge embarrassing failures, Sarah Spain. You guys remember Sarah Spain? We just talked about this dumbass the other day, but you're forgiven if you've already forgotten about her. She has a podcast named That's What She Said. Yeah, let me show you what she said the other day.
Tampa pitcher Jason Adam to the Tampa Bay Times. Hard decision because ultimately we all said we want them to know that they are welcome and loved here. But when we put it on our bodies, I think a lot of guys decided that it's just a lifestyle that maybe, not that they look down on or anything or differently, it's just that maybe we don't want to encourage we believe in Jesus who's encouraged us to live a lifestyle that would abstain from that behavior. Sarah Spain, how does that all come off to you?
Pride is about inclusion, so you don't love them and you don't welcome them if you're not willing to wear the patch. And calling it a lifestyle reveals to me that you've done not even a modicum of research or understanding on this topic, which is what tends to happen when a privileged class isn't affected by things. This is not just about baseball. That religious exemption BS, which is used in sport and otherwise, also allows for people to be denied health care, jobs, apartments, children, prescriptions, all sorts of rights. And so we have to stop tiptoeing around it because we're trying to protect people who are trying to be bigoted from asking for them to be exempt from it when the very people that they are bigoted against are suffering the consequences.
I would give you her ranking, but her viewership is so low, Apple doesn't rank her. She has a total of 3,000 likes on her propaganda cast. 3,000? This channel right here gets 3,000 likes in 48 hours. How come I'm not on Esquire's list? Sarah Spain's podcast is so influential, she gets all the A-list guests. Quentin Richardson, Sarah Thomas, Kalaine Kanakrin. Oh, wow. Wow. I have not seen that level of star power since the WNBA All-Star Game last year. But let's go ahead and get to our next contestant. Rounding out the bottom of the list, in a place where she is used to being the bottom, is the one and only, the Queen of Queefs, the Mistress of Misogyny, the Duchess of Discrimination. She puts the R in racism. The woman making that hideous-looking face behind me, Jemele Hill. I swear to God, it's like Esquire compiled a list of the top podcasts that no one listens to. Who the fuck listens to Jemele Hill? This is the same woman that got canceled by Vice. Vice has a television network that struggles to draw ratings. They gave Jemele Hill a show. Her ratings were so bad that a network that no one watches canceled her due to bad ratings. In their description, Esquire says, "Can you really talk about a sports podcast without mentioning Jemele Hill?" That's like saying, can you really talk about success without mentioning the WNBA? What contribution, what impact has Jemele Hill had on the world of sports? This woman could not attract a bear if she had a fucking stake hanging around her neck. And you think she can attract an audience? She was able to ink a deal with Spotify by victimizing herself on her skin color. It's one of the worst deals Spotify has ever signed. Then she had the audacity, after she failed to draw an audience, to ask Spotify for Joe Rogan money. Jemele? There's a huge difference between you and Joe Rogan. Yeah, he's white and I'm black. No, Jemele, he's entertaining and you're a shit fuck. Jemele Hill is so popular, she doesn't crank the top 200 sports podcast on Apple. Not the top 200 podcast, the top 200 in the sports category. Jemele Hill is so popular, she has nearly 4 million less views on YouTube than I do. Her latest YouTube video that was posted yesterday, 493 views. This channel hits 493 views in less than 30 minutes. Do you understand now why I say lists are bullshit? Esquire magazine took 3 of the most useless people in the media and claimed they had the top sports podcast in America. Now go ahead and take a bite out of that bullshit sandwich to start your weekend. Well, let me know what you think. Bobo, Sarah Shitfuck, Jemele, the top podcasters in sports. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.